But I believe this foundational little piece will change your life if you do it. If you do it, okay? So some of you have heard of this before, and I know that you need to tell yourself before I even say this that you're not going to say, I know that. See, how do you know if you know something? You're living it. You're experiencing it. You didn't try it once or thought about it or read about it. You're doing it, okay? So my challenge to you when I'm done here is that you're going to do this, okay? Now, this is a simple concept. It's based on the word STEAM. It's in the company brochures. I don't know if Art Williams invented it. I don't know if Bill Arinder invented it. I don't know if it was Bob Safford. I don't know who it was. But it's been around forever. And it's still the answer. See, Art Williams didn't cold call. He talked to coaches. He talked to them, and they knew other people, and that's how the business took off. Okay, so here's how it's going to work for you. I'm going to role play this for you. You know, if I'm sitting down with you, say I'm sitting down with Johnny, and I showed Johnny what I'm doing, a quick presentation. At the end of that presentation, I say, Johnny, you know what, I'm expanding. I know it's probably not for you right now, but would you help me out? I want to play a little game with you. By the way, this is how I find my best people. You play a game with me? He says, okay, I'll play a game with you. So I'm just going to describe the type of person I'm looking for, and you don't think, just if a name pops in your head, you tell me that name real quick, okay? So who pops in your head when I say teacher? Who comes to mind when I say, who's the best teacher you know? Oh, Fred? Fred? He's a teacher? Okay, great. How about any other teachers? No? How about, who's the best, most enthusiastic person you know? Who comes to mind? Oh, that's Sally. Okay, Sally. And then how about ambitious? How about motivated? How about sales? Who's the best salesperson you know that's not pushy, but they're good with people? And by the time we're done with that, John's given me 2 or 3 first names. Now, this part's very important. This will be recorded, so if you want to listen to it again, you can. But this part's very important. I go back up the top and I say, so Johnny, what does Fred do? Or where does he teach? He's at the elementary school. Okay, great. You know what? If I called Fred and said that, Johnny, you told me he was the best teacher you know, would he be offended? Offended? He goes, no, he wouldn't be offended. Great. What's the best way to reach him? And I get a name and a phone number. So when I'm done, I have 2 or 3 names and phone numbers. Now, it's very important. I didn't say, are you okay? Is it okay? Can I call him? Would you mind? I said, would they be offended if I called and told them what you said? No. Great. What's the best way to reach them? So I end up with 2 or 3 names and numbers. I leave that call. Here's the key. I leave that appointment. Minutes later, I'm on my cell phone. I'm calling Fred. What do I say to Fred? Hey, Fred, Daryl Haas calling. We haven't met, but I was just talking to Johnny. You know Johnny? Yeah. He told me you're the best teacher he knows. If that's true, we need to get together. What's better for you, today or tomorrow? What's better for you, before work or after work? Give him 2 choices. Get in front of them. What does he say? What does Fred say? He goes, oh, that Johnny, he's always talking. Well, hey, if half of what he said is true, we should at least talk. Well, what's it about? Well, we're a financial company. I'm just looking for a couple key people to work with me. Probably won't even interest you. I just need your help. He says, okay. Reluctantly, he gets with me. Guess what I'm doing with Fred? Show him what we do. Real quick presentation. Steam him. What happens if you steam everybody you get in front of? Do you ever run out of people to talk to? Would you ever? Even if sometimes you get names and sometimes you don't. You're going to average 2 or 3. Some of you are going, well, yeah, I tried that once. It didn't work for me. Hey, you got to go for it. Nothing works once. You got to do it over and over and over again. Now, who could you steam? Do you know anybody? I get so tired of hearing people say, well, I'm already through my warm market. I got a cold prospect. Wrong. Unless you offended all those people, that's wrong. You can go back to those people. You go back to them and you don't say, man, you got to join. You wouldn't believe what's... You say just the opposite. You say, you know what? I know you're not interested. Did you get that? I know you're not interested. I know it's not for you. I know you're happy. Make them feel good. I know you're already successful. But we need to connect. I need to show you what I'm doing. What do I do when I meet with them? I show them a crusade example, like you heard from Johnny, that last example. Look how we did this, helped this family, the difference we made. By the way, I know it's not for you, but would you play a little game with me? Who do you know? Who's the best teacher you know? All of a sudden, I've got 2 or 3 more names and numbers. You could do that. Do you have any brothers and sisters? Yes or no? Brothers and sisters? Do you have parents? Do you have children? Do you have a church? Do you have a bowling league? Do you have a job? Do you have an old job? Do you have coworkers? Hey, the average person knows 300 people by first name. The average person knows how many? 300 people by first name. But if you say, who do you know who'd be interested? What do they say? I don't know anybody who'd be interested. But if you say, who's the best teacher you know, their mental Rolodex flies through those 300 names to come up with the best teacher. So you have to cold prospect several lifetimes to come up with the quality of people you're going to come up with when you steam people and you develop this habit. So when should you steam people? I don't know. How about after church? How about after work? How about any time you're around people? How about after your Sunday dinner? Right? Anybody. We had a situation in our office, a person being trained was with their trainer at their parents' house, and the grandmother was there. The trainer says, hey, before we go, your grandmother's in the other room. He said, why don't you go steam her? He said, she's 70 years old. He goes, go steam her, see what happens. He steams her, gets 2 qualified names and numbers of people he can call. Who's going to stand up somebody when they call somebody their grandmother referred them, right? You know, that's credibility. But you know what? He would have never thought of that. We get 10 referrals every time we do a financial needs analysis. But before we leave that home, we steam them. We get 2 or 3 names and numbers to call for what? Recruiting. Here's the thing I know. If you recruit 1 direct a week, by the way, I know you can recruit 1 direct a week even if you've never done it before. It's just not important to you. That's why you're not doing it. But 1 direct a week for 6 months, some of you will be RVPs. 1 direct a week for 12 months, some of you will be RVPs. 1 direct a week for 18 months, almost all of you would be RVPs. Not just wimpy RVPs, strong RVPs making a couple $100,000 a year. Would that be worth it to learn STEAM? Would that be worth it to do something that you say, well, that's too elementary. That's not fancy enough for me. Hey, I don't need fancy. I want something that works. I'm telling you, it took us from $50,000 a year to $1 million a year. There's more to the story. You've got to have a system that can be duplicated. You've got to treat people right. But most people are flat not going to do it. And I don't know up front, and you don't know up front who's going to do it, do you? There's no way to know that. So what happens if you build an organization of people where STEAM's a habit? Not only do you never run out of people to see, they never run out of people to see. If you notice, people do what you do. They don't do what you tell them to do, they do what you do. If you set that example, they're going to do it. Wouldn't that be... See, everybody's got the same problem in Primerica. You don't have enough appointments. Primerica works, doesn't it? Yeah. You get in front of people in the market, it works. You're 7 out of 10 times you're going to write life, 2 out of 10 you're going to do a mortgage, 10 out of 10 you're going to invest, right? It works, but you don't have enough appointments. 1 appointment a week, you can't build a business here, right? You've got to get busy. Here's one of the great things about STEAM, and you challenge this. Go out there and you'll see this work. About 30% of the time, the people you're steaming, they go, well, I'm ambitious. I'm enthusiastic. I know, but you're busy, and I know I talked to you before. It's really not for you. I understand. That's okay. Don't worry about it. And just keep on going. Take it away. The way you catch a fish is by taking it away. You don't throw the tackle box at the fish, right? That doesn't work. You take it away. You entice them. STEAM does that naturally. Stay on that track. It's not for you. What do people think when you keep saying it's not for you? How do you know it's not for me? They can't help but say that to themselves. You can recruit people that you'll be, hey, Mike Sharp's the highest paid guy in the company. This is basically what he did. When you hear the tapes of what he did in the early days, he sat down with centers of influence, and he told them what he was doing, and he pretty much said, I know you're not interested because you're already successful. Who do you know? And that's how he built his organization. It works, guys. It absolutely works. And let me go over one thing with you because this will really simplify the business. This is really good news for you. You don't have to manage your recruits. You don't have to manage your regional leaders. You don't have to manage your RVPs. You don't have to manage your spouse, your husband, your wife. You don't have to manage them. You don't have to manage your children. You don't have to manage the economy. You don't have to manage the interest rates. You don't have to manage what's going on in real estate. You don't have to manage anything. Well, no, you have to manage one thing. Y-O-U. And I know that's not that easy. But doesn't that simplify your life? If you go out and recruit 1 direct a week, you manage your time, you manage your focus, you are going to build a big business here. I don't care if you're outgoing personality or shy like I am. I don't care if you're Mr. Personality or no personality or Mrs. Personality, right? That doesn't matter. It's finding the right people. You don't make people, we find nice people. We don't make people nice, we find nice people, right? We don't motivate people, we find motivated people. That's why we've got to go through these numbers. But again, you steam people consistently. All the people you're training steam people. What's going to happen? Can you see it? Can you see what happens to your business when you do that? So develop that habit. Steam people. Manage you. You don't have to worry about the economy. You don't have to worry about who the next president is. It has nothing to do with your future. It's you. It's your activity. It's the people you find. And like us, a lot of the people you find are going to make you look better than you are. We get all this credit for what we've done. All we've done is recruited directs. I want to leave you with a challenge, and then I'm going to tell you a story to wrap this up. By the way, we watched The Great Debaters on the plane coming over yesterday. Some of you have seen that movie? Great quote out of that movie said, "We do what we have to do so we can do what we want to do." See, you got to do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. What do you have to do? You got to build a team. You got to prospect. Just do it the easy way. Use STEAM. So I'm going to ask you on a piece of paper right now, I don't care if you're in your office or your home or in the studio right now, I'm going to ask you to make a commitment to you. Okay, a commitment to you. Today's Monday. Next Monday's going to come fast. You have 7 days. If you set your mind to it, how many people can you and how many will you STEAM between now and next Monday? Some people will say 2. That's 2 more than last week, right? Some people say 5. I've had several people tell me 21. Nobody's ever done 21 in a week. I'd like to see somebody break that record. You tell me at the end of a week if you didn't move your business. You tell me if you didn't come up with some new possibilities. You tell me if you aren't excited next Monday. But you're making a commitment to you. A lot of you aren't even writing in the studio here. Probably nobody at home is either. See, that's the thing. I know most of you aren't going to do it. You don't want to make $1 million. You're not serious. You're not focused. I've given you the key, the answer. Most of you will not do it. That's a sad thing. Some of you will, though. See, we passed up so many people in this company. I'm not never mentioning any names, but a lot of our heroes are not making the money we're making. You know why? We recruited more directs. Because we're more talented? No, we recruit more directs. That's it. That's the answer. Isn't that exciting? Because you can do that. You can do that. My family never thought I could do this business at all. I was too shy. Things can change. You can surprise some people. It's pretty exciting. I believe, guys, I believe that we can literally change the world. I believe this little talk could change the world. I believe that thousands of people who decided to STEAM someone this week could change the world. And duplicating that through other people. Can you see it? There's no lack of people where you live, is there?